Hello Trekkies, and welcome back with another video of TREKKERPRISE. Well, today we're going to talk about, and that's tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Well, this was the episode that kind of left a big question mark in me. Not because of the episode itself, because the episode itself was great as always, but the whole idea behind how people and how things can change and how things can affect in your future, and by the end of this episode I totally started thinking about like how the events of this episode, how the events what happened in the Orville affect the future of the Orville. It's just a really interesting and complicated episode that I'm going to talk a little bit more depth in this time. It's not going to be just like a 5-6 minutes video, probably going to be a bit longer, and I hope we're really going to have a nice discussion about this episode in the comment section below. We find out that, well, it's not really a big news, but Ed still has feelings towards Kelly, but Kelly doesn't really think that's a good idea to actually have this relationship brought back again, and then affecting their command relationship and their work relationship for possible things that might never gonna go well. So the whole episode starts out with this kind of sad note that, you know, Ed's love never gonna find its way back to Kelly. Following up this scene, Kelly goes down to the science lab to see Isaac and Lamar, that they kind of doing some experimentation on the Aronov device. Now, before we go any further, I do have to say that I don't really understand why the Orville still have the Aronov device. I thought at the very beginning, in the very first episode, they used it to actually have a happy Arbor Day, but then they should have gave it back to Epsilon 5, which I don't really understand how the Orville has it. So it shouldn't the Orville just go around and around, you know, with the time manipulating device. They should have given it back to the science station, but that's just my opinion. Isaac and Lamar doing some experimentation on this device when the Orville actually gets into a gravitational loop field, and it causes a malfunction in the device, and because Kelly was so close to it, she basically got pulled out 7 years from the past. So we have normal, regular Kelly, and we have 7 years younger Kelly, which again will create a little bit of an interesting situation, because if Kelly gets transported out from her timeline to the future, then how the actual Kelly can still be there? Because if that Kelly, you know, leaves their future and they start a new life in the Orville, then the future Kelly would just disappear, present Kelly would just disappear. But as they pointed out in this episode, time travel is always a bit crazy, and if you watch Doctor Who, you know time is a non-linear ball of chain of events. It's a bit of a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. Kelly obviously wasn't really happy that her old self came back, and her old self actually pounded her down that, hey, yeah, I wanted to get married, I wanted to have kids, I wanted to be a captain of the starship, and you're none of these. And that was the moment when I kind of, and both with my wife, we started thinking that, hey, this is bad. So having this little collusion between Kelly's old self and her present self, it was just really an emotional thing. And I did notice that in that conversation between Kelly and Dr. Finn kind of became the Obi-Wan again for Kelly in this episode. I remember in the second and third episode of the Orville in season 1, she was giving some advices to Alara how to command everything, and in this case she was giving some advice how to do the relationship stuff and how to how to be satisfied about your life. You didn't get to the point where you really wanted to be, but you're in a totally different place now, and you should be proud of yourself, what you accomplished, because it's a really big thing. Obviously with the old Kelly there's a possibility for Ed to actually make their relationship work, but old Kelly being a totally different person, and obviously Ed changed into a different person as well, something doesn't really feels right. I think Ed's biggest realization came to mind when they were in this club that Kelly enjoyed so much, and also Clyde and Bortus and Yalfred, well, they were just hilarious. Happily towards the end of the episode, Lamar and Isaac, they come up with an idea that, hey, how we will be able to send back Kelly to 7 years ago, and then, you know, reintegrate her into her normal timeline and have everything flown into the same way as it used to. Although before it all happens, that they really wanted to have Kelly's mind, wiped out, what she experienced, what she got to know from the future time of the Orville, that should never affect the future itself from Kelly's point of view. Obviously they succeed and Kelly gets transported back to her own timeline in 7 years ago. Something doesn't really feel right, and something is just weird, it's just strange. And by her facial expression that she had in her own cabin, that she actually just realized that, hey, it wasn't a dream, I really actually had this experience. And obviously Ed calls in the morning like, hey, I really enjoyed you last night and I really would like to see you again. And then Kelly says, I don't think it's gonna work, so I'm just sorry that it's not gonna work. Really glad that this is not like a season finale, it's just the first part of the season finale, because it would make me crazy to wait like at least a year if we're gonna get a third season of the Orville and we're gonna find the whole situation out ourselves. But having this moment just before the last episode, just absolutely mind-blowing. And it's really significant because if she really breaks up with Ed at the very beginning, they're never gonna go through this relationship thing, they're never gonna cheat on each other, they're never gonna go for this whole thing, and then Ed's life might not be the same without Kelly. Obviously he might gonna command a different ship, he might gonna be in a different place, he might gonna have Gordon in a separate ship as well with him, but he probably never gonna reunite with the Orville crew itself. And obviously all of this can affect the future of what happened so far in the Orville. A bunch of other things would not happen in the same way how it happened in the last 2 seasons, so Kelly basically can rewrite the whole history as we knew it. Obviously this might gonna work out for Kelly because she might gonna become a captain of a Union ship, she might gonna have a husband with 2 kids, she might gonna have the life that she always wanted and present Kelly didn't achieve. Adrienne Palicki gave a fantastic performance in this episode, both as a 7-year-old herself and both as a present herself. So, and I think we never really seen anything how someone talks to themselves in a way that, you know, hey, I'm going to just pound you down because, you know, you never became a person who I wanted to be, and then, hey, but you know what I'm dealing with, you know how I am. And then obviously when you like have this situation, have this balance between yourself and yourself, it's just absolutely beautiful to see and witness this, and I'm really looking forward to find out what's gonna happen in the next episode, how the future of the Orville going to unfold for us, because there's still 1 episode left from season 2, and I really hope that we're gonna have an announcement soon from Tom Constantino and from Disney or from Fox or from someone that, hey, the Orville is going into season 3. I wish you could send loads of jars of pickles to the Orville crew, just like, hey, renew the Orville and we're gonna supply you jars of pickles for your rest of your life. Overall, the episode was absolutely fantastic. As I mentioned, my concerns about the whole thing, that whole situation, that, hey, you know, Kelly finding herself in a old self and then fighting against herself, plus obviously we had some humorous elements with the dance scene, and obviously the visual part and how the ship got actually undercover with the ice, that was just absolutely phenomenal. And at one point I did feel that we might gonna end up with sort of a William Riker, Thomas Riker situation. If you remember Star Trek: The Next Generation, there was a transporter accident that William Riker had experienced, and obviously the one person split into 2. One William Riker being back aboard a ship, and then he was living his own life, but then the other William Riker never made it, so he was like basically a transporter copy of the original Riker, and they both been growing in the same sense, and then after a while they got acquainted with each other, and the copy Riker was judging the new Riker. It's basically basically the same situation happened here, but with a twist that, you know, they were able to send back old Kelly to her own timeline, but then she started altering the timeline, so wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. That was it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please let me know your thoughts about this episode in the comment section below, and what your theories about the season finale for the Orville. Please also let me know in the comment section below, and I'm looking forward to hear your thoughts about this episode and about the future of the Orville. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to receive all the geekiness every week. And until next time, live long and prosper.